Hey guys, welcome to USL Lifestyle, where you get to live your life differently. I'm your host, Ayasha Roberson, and on today's episode, we're going to be talking about my book review. So, I started off the year back in January saying I was going to do a book review each and every month. However, February came and gone, and now it is March. So, the book review that I actually did read is a book, and it actually encompasses Black History Month and a woman. So it's going to be my February/March book review. And I actually saw it at a bookstore at the Short Hills Mall. And I went to the bookstore to get some candy. One of my colleagues got me turned into this, like really, I like these little candies called lips on the side, and they're like got the sweet and twardy taste. So I really went in there for these little lips candies. And if anyone knows what the lip candies I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So I actually saw this book, and it's called All About Love. And at the time, it was like at the front part of the entrance of the bookstore. And it's a New York Times bestseller, and it's by Bell Hooks. So I don't know if you guys know who Bell Hooks is, because it probably reads a little backwards. She was, because she passed away a couple of years ago, she was this great sociologist. And when I was in college back in the 90s, I learned about her. Actually, I learned about her, yeah, when I was at undergrad at Richard Stockton College, which is now Richard Stockton University. And she had a lot of different articles and readings and findings about life. And this book was such a great book. It's a great book for you guys to read and to kind of like highlight. I highlighted quite a few things in this book. There was a lot of great key points. Before I even read some inserts from the book, I want to tell you about my experience. Now, reading this book, it made a lot of sense to me because I'm a person that really has worked from outside of me being a host. I've worked on my own healing and my own growth from a emotional and spiritual perspective. And also with me, I came from a two-parent household that was very healthy. So I had a healthy relationship with my parents, both of them. Well, I had more of a good, healthy relationship with my dad than my mom, but overall it was healthy at times with my mom. But my parents' relationship with inside themselves was a really good, healthy relationship with each other. They didn't have a toxic or a negative type of relationship with each other. So that was my uh, experience coming from that type of household. Now I had different relationships with my parents, uh, myself. However, their dynamic together was very healthy. So this book talked about family and love, and how love actually is really deep rooted within our childhood experiences, and how love, because we live in this patriarchal society, and even if we try to do it from a feminist perspective and raising our children, whether it's boys and or girls, we still live in a patriotic society outside of our household, where our children are going to be programmed to think, and I was actually programmed to think the same way about how roles are supposed to be played out and how things are supposed to be functioned. And it actually talked about how influences we have when it comes to media as well. A lot of times when we see love, it's usually with violence. So when we think about shows like Power or shows like Empire, or it just, those shows, I'm not trying to downplay the shows, a lot of times it's violence centered around love. So people get these unhealthy associations based off of balance is a part of love. And they're two separate things, two different things, but we're conditioned to believe that way, especially if you have this association when it comes to your own emotional and childhood experience as well. So if you grew up in a toxic childhood environment where your mom beat you and your dad raped you, you're going to, if you don't get help for it, of course, you're going to implement that behavior onto your children, and relationships you're going to find are going to be very similar. They're going to be, and if it's not physical, it's going to be very emotionally draining and it's going to be manipulative. So it was really good reading this book from her. I wanted to read a couple inserts. So it talks about patriarchy. Patriarchy. Like any system of domination, for example, racism relies on socializing everyone to believe that in all human relationships there is an inferiority and a superiority party. One person is stronger, the other is weak. And that is therefore natural for the powerful to rule over the powerless. To those who support patriarchal thinking, maintaining power and control is acceptable by whatever means. Naturally, anyone socialized to think this way would be more interested and stimulated by sorry by scenes of domination and violence rather than by scenes of love and care. Yet they need a consumer audience to whom they can sell their product. Therein lies our power to demand change. I just lost where I was reading as I was reading this story, but I thought this was so powerful book to read, and this is actually going to be like one of my books. Like I'm going to keep, and I'm going to keep on recommending to people as well. There was a chapter on greed and simple love. It was another chapter on spirituality, divine love. She also talked about her personal experience, how she attracted these men who would manipulate her, and she found like that she had her own issues going on. She had to deal with her own healing as well. Honesty to be sorry, one of the chapters is honesty, be true to love. When I got deeper into the book, it actually drew me in closer to all the things that Bell Hooks was talking about in this book, and I just really felt the need to really share it with you guys. The community of loving communion, which was a great chapter as well. So it was a lot of great, really good things in this book that helped me even more than what I thought it would, dealing with this book, like really in this book, and like, wow, I need to like work on this, or things that I can take and implement within my own personal life, or things I can implement when I'm working with my clients as well. So it was one of those really good books, and she's always been a great sociologist. She got this, she got it. So this is a good book. This is a good book for your healing. Like loving yourself on a micro level, loving yourself on a meso level, loving yourself on a macro level. So make sure you guys get this book, All About Love by Bell Hooks. All About Love by Bell Hooks. And thank you guys for watching this edition of USL Lifestyle, where you get to live your life differently. I'm looking forward to telling you about my next book review coming soon. Have a good weekend. Talk to you guys soon, and bye.